Hello everybody, this is Marty, and this is Sailing Vessel Kudos, a Hans Christian 38T, heavy blue water cruiser, full keel, tipping the scales at 43,000 pounds in cruising trim. Beautiful, beautiful country. It definitely is a pleasure being here and getting to see all this stuff. It's amazing. And I want to say thank you for all the kind comments and stuff on my videos. I know they're very amateur. I'm just kind of trying to recap my travels and what I'm doing. So I got a surprise coming, at least for me. I think it's going to be great, but I'll stick out here a couple more days, and then I got to go to Hiva Oa. I've got crew coming, which is exciting. Running a boat solo is not easy. I'll be the first to admit that. Anybody that does it, they are. My hat's off to them. It can be a big struggle. So, anyways, see where I can go here. Just cruising down the island just a little ways. It's not even far enough to worry about putting sails up. Just going to see if I can't find a little different anchorage, someplace different for couple of days, and maybe out of the wind a little more. That one was getting pretty rolly. It was a challenge this morning getting the dinghy on the davits and the motor up in the block. So just gonna see what I can do here. See some more scenery, and the wind all over the place anyways. It would actually, now I had 20 knots of wind behind me. Now I bet I've got 10 knots coming on my nose. So yeah, it's kind of weird. It'd be awful hard to sail in this. Blowhole over there. Be neat to get close to it, but I'm not gonna push my luck. First time I've been in the kayak. My crew down in San Diego was in it once, but first time I've been in it. It's an Aqua Glide Chinook 120. It's actually supposed to be able to hold two-person, but for an inflatable, I'm impressed with how well it paddles. It actually does very, very well. I'm gonna have to back up here before I end up in the rocks. once in a while, bigger trout comes in here. See, this is moving around a little bit, but not bad at all. Something underneath water here because it gets swirling. Oh, that's where the exit for there's a little pool back in there, evidently. Cave back in here. I'm just drifting with what little bit of breeze we got, and once in a while it'll huff in here about 20 knots, but right now it's maybe 10. So it's just kind of read on No Foreign Land that people are seeing a lot of critters in here too. Dolphin, octopus, manta rays, actually. I had an eagle ray, I think is what it was, jump right next to the boat, scared the you-know-what out of me. Jumped right off the boat after I come out of the last anchorage. And just, they come clear out of the water, it's probably 4 or 5 feet wide. Blam when they hit, so it startles you pretty good, especially when you're not expecting it. Anxious to get into the water, actually. I mean, rocks like this at home would be covered with starfish, sea anemones, mussels, and all that stuff. I don't see any critters on these. It's a little cloudy this morning. We just had a rainbow back there, but by the time I got back out here, it was gone. Anyways, it's been raining off and on all night. Sometimes really hard. Kind of weird. Some of the rainstorms, when they start, all of a sudden the wind pipes up to like 25, 30 knots. Sounds like a freight train coming through, and then the rain will pour, and then within a minute or two it's done. Sure, it's funneling down through that there. It's kind of weird how the clouds up here just kind of get over this little bay and disappear. It seems to be, sun above me most of the time. There's a rain squall offshore out there. That's probably the one that went through this morning a little while ago. Anyways, I got up my anchor riding sail. The wind almost always blows, or at least it has since I've been here, from the beach over there. So this is something I've had for quite a long time, but I haven't used it much. So I'm gonna just see if it'll help keep the bow, which right now it's not doing it. But I'm gonna see if this will help keep the bow towards the beach, because the swell's coming in from offshore out here. It's kind of wrapping around the island. The wind's coming out of the east. The swell is coming out of the east-southeast, and it wraps around the island and obviously comes into here. It's not bad by any means. I'm down farther south on the island, on the southeast side or southwest side of it, so it's more protected than the last anchorage I was in, and definitely more comfortable. But we'll see if I've got the anchor riding sail, so why not use it? If it'll help a little bit, keep the boat pointed in this direction, so the swell is coming at the stern. It just makes life easier. See how it goes. It looks like maybe I'll stay here till Saturday. Weather's looks like a 10-foot swell, up to a 10-foot swell tomorrow at 8 seconds. That's not fun. So I think what I'll do is just kind of play it safe and stick here. I'm in no hurry, so I'll stick out here until Saturday, and then maybe head for Huka, because the wind is finally coming out of the east, like the traditional trades are. I can't directly sail to Hiva Oa, which is the destination I need to get to pick up crew. But so I figured, well, I'll sail up to Huka, and that's close hauled, but getting able to sail, and then from Huka I should be able to sail down to Hiva Oa also. If I try to leave here to Hiva Oa, yeah, I can do it, but I'm going to be tacking the whole trip back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I got time, so why not go see a different island? Anyways, let's see what today brings. I'm picking up crew on that island in a little over this is right next door. Is these names don't come off my tongue with a hoot. So, anyways, there's an anchorage, I believe, up in there that I'm heading for. Good sail down, kept the boat balanced, learned some. Now we're in about 18 knot wind, and she's just charging along right now at about 5.5, 6 knots. I'm gonna go down here, and then I'll come back and tack back up. This wind's coming from this way. Obviously, I can't sail that way. I'm sailing as close to the wind as I can right now. The wind's coming from, well, the wind's coming from about that direction. So I'm sailing into the wind about as tight as I can. So I'll sail down this way, and then I'll tack back up. And then once I get a little closer, then I'll drop the sails and fire up the engine and roll in on the anchorage and hang out. Other than that, everything is going good. The overnight was good. I got about 5 miles up here last night, about midnight or so, and wind was 12 to 15. I hove to. For what anybody that doesn't know what that is, you turn into the wind with the rudder hard over, and it basically parks the boat. And I still ran my normal, got up every hour for checking to make sure things were okay, but I got some sleep. Got up this morning about 5:30, and the boat was holding really still. So I was like, oh, it must be really calm and flat. I guess I'm at the motor. Well, I got up, and shoot, there was wind 15 to 18 knots out here, but the way this thing parks diagonally into it with the sail up, it was right and so smooth, I thought there wasn't any wind. This boat just continues to impress me. I love it, and yeah, I wouldn't trade this old girl for anything other than maybe a bigger one. But even then you got more maintenance, more cost, and everything else to go with it. So I'm happy with her. Doing extremely well. I'll get some pictures when we get a little closer here. Beautiful morning. I did have winds to about 26 knots, but it's backed off to 12 to 15 now. So very comfortable. I got a line in the water. No bites this morning though, so oh well. Got a couple of skipjack that I turned loose yesterday, and then the third one, I believe, it was something that had teeth. Either a wahoo, shark, or barracuda. Because I lost the lure, and about 3 feet of the line above the lure looks like it went through a meat grinder. It's just tore to pieces. So anyway, something chompers. Well, this just goes to show that you never can be too careful, and you can't trust what others do. So far, everybody in this anchorage, all these boats, several have left. I think that one over there is new, and this one over here anchored in front of me a couple of days ago. That one's new. But these two behind me have been here since I got here, and so was this guy. Anyways, this catamaran, as gorgeous as it is, people from France, I believe. I haven't met them, but that's what No Foreign Land says they're from. This morning I got up, and they were clear out there off that point. And I thought, okay, so they moved. They've got a bunch of kids on boards, and they got one of them foil boards, electric foil boards. I'd love to have one, but my goodness, they're like $2,500. Got other things I need to spend that kind of money on. But anyways, they were clear out there, and come to find out, I started watching them. I was changing the oil in my generator, and they pulled anchor, and they had a great big old chunk of coral on the anchor. What had happened was it had grabbed that, and then during the night, we had some pretty good winds last night, it broke loose, and away they went, and that's where they stopped. Fortunately, nobody was behind them. They did come back up, and their anchor now is, you can kind of see the light in the dark, maybe. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but they were they dropped it in that, there's a sandy patch right there. And right behind it you can see dark, so it's coral or rock. I haven't been diving in there yet to find out, but anyways, they dropped over here, and now they're back into here. So a little better situation. They're not going to drag into me because they're behind me and off to the side, so we're good. But just goes to show you can't be too careful, and that's another reason why I use an anchor alarm. I set the distance fairly close to where I set the anchor, and if my boat drifts, I would say 10 feet past the end of where the chain comes taut, it lets me know about it, and I can get up and look and make sure I'm not moving and not going anywhere. Anyways, we're supposed to get a little rain today, and I'm just doing some more boat chores. I went through and my solar honestly wasn't putting out what I thought it should for, what is it, 1720 watts, 1740, whatever it is. It just, I was only seeing like at noon 50 amps, and I was like, that's poor. So I found out that my connector, digging through things yesterday, this connector here, which is the panel, 2 panels on the bimini, had come unplugged. That was one thing. And the other thing, and it was my own fault, got nobody to blame but myself. I highly recommend people that when they do things, they overbuild the systems. I did not. I built it for about 1,000 watts of solar, and then I added the other to it. And I got in here yesterday behind this panel and noticed, I was just making sure things were hooked up, something hadn't come loose. And I was noticing that the wires coming off of the little shunt for this meter right here were pretty warm. They were enough where you didn't want to hang on to them very long. And I had made them with 8-gauge wire. And okay, that's something to wire. So I went ahead and upgraded. I had on board. Thankfully, I've got lots of spares on board. But I added a 4-gauge wire to the system on both the positive and the grounds bus where all the solar controllers go into. If I had the wire on board, I would probably even put 2 or aught in there, just because. But anyways, what I'm noticing today, I don't know whether you can see this. Right now, it's 11:45, and I am seeing a consistent 72 to 75 amps. That's basically 25 amps more than I've ever seen this system put out. So, when you're designing your solar, overbuild it. Don't make the mistakes I did. I've redone the solar on this boat 3 times. And if I'd known then what I know now, I would have built it like this in the beginning. And just, again, overbuild everything. Bigger wire than you think you need. Because if you ever do add on to it, you're going to need it. And also, the bigger the wire, the less resistance. So, my mistakes, but I caught them. And, you know, obviously, if the wires were getting hot, eventually, if there was a bad connection or something, it could have started a fire or something. So, I'm glad I found it. Now everything's nice and cool. There's no temperature increase in the wires whatsoever. So, it's all good.